What's good, guys? It's your boy CS back with another one. This is going to be a prologue video to a much larger series, or maybe I'll just do one big video or VC in regards to leverage trading. So maybe a leverage trading series, right? So the background behind this video is so that you can set yourself up for success, and there's key things that you need to do in order to be successful in leverage trading. And let me tell you, you will make more bank leverage trading and showing patience than you will gambling in the trenches. You've got to realize the probability of you making money in the trenches is next to none. You have to be so darn lucky. And imagine how many other people in your position think they're going to be doing the same. What separates you from them, right? Is basically a 1 in 1 million chance, if not higher, that you get into a coin, you hold on to that coin, and you don't G out because of everything that's going on social media, and you make it, right? The other biggest point is the fact that you need to be in a well-cohesive group that has a lot of camaraderie, and no better than my VIP chat, where I give so many different signals on what's going on in the market, what we're looking for, the coins that are moving first, so that you can ascertain what to move into, because money flow and outflows work differently. And until you can actually comprehend how money goes into altcoins, into which altcoins and how they move, then you'll understand how they'll move into the next coin and which coin to actually move into, right? So this is the type of alpha I provide. And as you can see, like from Fartcoin to Brett, the S&P gaps, cluster EMA ribbons, what we're looking out for and what's going to happen. And obviously other input from good guys like V, etc. And, you know, there's other stuff that we're looking at, like Degen calls, like what Spartan has here, for instance. So, and then obviously like liquidation and whatnot, right? So that's just a glimpse of what goes on in the VIP chat. It's only one Solana. Honestly, you'll be making so much more money if you follow what I'm about to teach and what I have been teaching on setups, etc., just on this alone. So without further ado, what I want to actually look at is, well, we'll look at Blowfin, right? And I've got the demo trading up here, and I'm going to do a full leverage series on this. But in the meantime, download Blowfin or Mexi. We might as well just stick with Blowfin right now. And, you know, have a play around with it. And I'll do this in the next video because that's where we're going to be starting at beginner level. Prior to that, you need to have a good understanding of how trading works, support and resistance as basic trading. Whether you want to look at Fibonacci levels, not my type of style. I don't really like that type of trading, or golden pockets and all that jazz. Never worked for me. But try to find a style that works for you. And then look at charts and chart patterns, right? So like on my charts and chart patterns, they may look really convoluted and they may look like they're everywhere, but there's a method to the madness. And we call this point of control. And a lot of people in our VIP chat, they're very much, even if they don't trade and they're more of the Degen calls, and if you just want to join just for Degen calls, by all means, there's people that will throw alpha at you and new coins to you. But I guarantee you, every one of those Degen meme traders, they know what I'm talking about when I talk about point of control on these lines here. And then when we look at particular like descending wedge patterns and how they break out, etc. And what we're looking at here, for instance, very similar patterns all across the board, no difference, ascending triangles, right? You need to get very well acquainted to chart patterns. And if you're sat here and you're like, no, I just want to know when to get in and when to get out, I promise you, you're not going to be able to do what I do. And the reason is like, let's take an average chart, right? I'm going to take Fartcoin, which is massive volatility, right? If I get in here or around here, you're not going to be able to hang with me. And I'll be honest with you, because you can't handle being in red. your trade being in a loss. You can't handle being in a loss. I can handle being down because I know what's going to happen. Eventually, it's going to come back up if I've bought at a very key support line. So if I see here, oh, look, one test there, two tests. Okay, next time this motherfucker comes around, I'm going to go because the risk to reward ratio, and I'll come onto that in a bit of detail later, is in my favor. If I get hit and it wicks down and it doesn't take out so many people in the sense of like, let's say it's here, 1, 2, and then it comes down here, but it breaks fully. I want to see this hold. And I'm going to be looking on the 15 minutes, seeing how it zigzags, right? If it breaks very imminently, I know that's a bad trade. Or let's say it did break down and I got in because I just had FOMO, right? And I had a tight stop loss. And I knew that the wicks hadn't been filled to the downside. If all of this is not making sense to you, you're not ready to leverage trade. There's no good just following what I do, because I can get in and give you a call and say, yeah, get in that fart coin here, right? And it goes down a bit. And you'll be like, oh my God, crypto sniped. It's in red. What am I supposed to do? I've got 100x leverage. Motherfucker, that's not how you trade, and trade responsibly. Yes, I trade with 50x, 20x, 10x, sometimes 3 to 5x on my main accounts where I use it as investment purposes. When I'm scalping, I'm using very high leverage because I know what I'm doing here and I know that the risk to reward ratio is in my favor. I have a plan and I know what's going to happen most of the time. Anyway, I say that in a very humble way. So if you can't handle drawdown, like let's say you bought here and it came all the way down here and you're like, oh my God, it's been 2 hours. It's still not come down. I best sell here. You stupid idiot. It would have come back up. And you've got to understand these levels that I'm looking at are a higher time frame, right? So if there's a weekly, like what happened this week, and it bounced off there, and then we go on a 3-dayer and we see what happened here. Look at the state of what's going on here. The amount of wicks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It held around here, 37 to 41. This was a massive support zone for Fartcoin. And look, even on the resistance level, treating it as demand, 1, 2, 3, right? You got 3 days to buy. I'm not saying that it's not going to come back down there, but the risk to reward ratio was always in my favor. And this is the reason I'm treating this as a prologue to the actual main leverage trading. No good following my signals or getting in when I get in when you can't handle being in a bit of red or understand when to take when to close a trade, when to cut your losses, when to even have a stop loss, and how many people are having stop losses. Like, you've got to understand here, all these wicks to the downside are greedy demands where they're getting in here and market makers are purposely taking them out. Same here, purposely taking them out, and then they flip back. It's actually a massive demand zone, but they take them out first. And what happens is you have to wait, and the waiting game is massive. And if you don't have the time to wait, you're not going to make it. Yeah, you're actually not going to make it. And I speak very passionately here because I treat trading like a full-time job, just the same with any other chart, right? So Brett comes and hits our level, peaks down a bit, comes up the other day, wicks today as well. This is a good area. And look, if it's gone up to like 4646, depending on what leverage you're using and whatnot, you can take your initials out, or you can take a bit out, or you can just put stop loss to entry if you just want to see how the trade goes, right? You've not lost anything. And that's the secret to how I trade responsibly and the different levels I'm looking at, right?